the long awaited GAN 4x4 version 2 is finally out, and I managed to get my hands on one of these guys before they hit the shelves. This is one of the most anticipated cubes of 2025. It promises to be one of the most advanced 4x4s ever, but of course it comes with a hefty price tag. Of course that price reduces if you use discount code TINGMAN at the cubicle, but I've got 4 questions for this 4x4. Number 1, what's so good about it? Number 2, what does it feel like to turn? Number 3, is it worth the price? And number 4, how does it compare to other popular 4x4s? In a world where new speed cubes seem to get pumped out like every other day, it's rare, actually really refreshing to see a company take this much time to develop a puzzle. Not because they're being slow, but because they're really trying to get it right. The first GAN 4x4 was released in 2018, the year that I started speed cubing, so we've been waiting 7 years for a version 2 to come out. I first heard of the new GAN 4x4 from Matty Inaba. He revealed a prototype of the version 2, get this, on 15th of May 2024. Yeah, that's over an entire year ago. Instantly he said this was going to be his main cube. I'm guessing he gave them feedback, and then in July, GAN sent a second prototype to him. More R&D, and then in October, yet another prototype. January 2025, another update. This one must have been really good, because that month, with the new GAN 4x4, Matty achieved a 17.10 second single, placing him 3rd in the entire world. April 2025, Matty receives yet another prototype. Note, this is the 5th wave of prototypes he's received, and that's assuming that there weren't others that we don't know about. And finally, 1 month later, the final release is locked in, and that is the version that I have here with me right now. It's time to unbox you, my precious. Sorry. I honestly feel like irrationally excited about opening this puzzle. They've just teased us for so long. Oh, there it is. GAN 460. 4 because it's a 4x4 and 60 because it's 60 millimeters in size. More of that very soon. Here it is. It's the moment. Oh. That's actually so cool. I've seen lots of these cards with 3x3s, but not a 4x4. And yes, as expected, this nice big container that we saw in the GAN 5x5, we'll probably compare that pretty soon. Accessories wise, I'm guessing there's going to be a cube pouch, a nice, yes, suede cube pouch. Velvet? I don't know what this is. I've got like a billion of these. And that's it. Literally nothing else. Very unusual when it comes to GAN cubes because we're used to, well, a ton of accessories, screwdrivers, spare magnets and all that stuff. Now, they may seem very surprising to you. You know what? I don't get to adjust things or anything on this 4x4. Yes, because I mean, it is pretty complex doing so, but also I think I'm saying, hey, you're not going to want to change anything here. Like, this is perfect. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. It is shiny. It's the UV version. I actually wasn't even sure which version I was going to get. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Man, I can't even describe what that feels. I'm going to describe what that feels like. But first, let's take a close look at this guy. This is the UV version of the GAN 4x4. It is really, really light. This guy's going to come in at 110 grams, which is crazy considering that it's a 4x4. I mean, it feels really great. Okay, honestly, the turning is unreal. And some of you out there might have, you know, the old GAN 460. You might be wondering, hey, what's the difference between the two? I mean, a 4x4 is just a 4x4, right? Like, how much can you actually change? This guy has magnets. Well, guess what? The old guy had magnets too. You know, double magnets there. Like, we can see it. Like, you know, literally what has changed. Well, it's all under the hood. You see, unlike 3x3s, here's a 3x3. Conveniently, the GAN 15 can be liking their big boxes. Unlike a 3x3 or other odd n-by-n puzzles, 4x4s need to have a lot of hidden pieces to allow it to turn. Kind of to, like, I don't know, give it a bit of a center to turn around, things to like lock it in place. And so, you know, you see all these pieces, like corner pieces, edges, and centers, and you're like, wow, so many. You ain't seen nothing yet. There are a lot of hidden pieces within all 4x4s, keeping them turning smoothly. And the thing is, this time, GAN decided to go crazy with stabilizing all of those internal pieces. As Matty showed in his video, the corners and inner pieces of the GAN 4x4 look like Christmas trees because they've got these 2 sets of wings that align and slide across each other, giving it a dual track internal structure. Admittedly, we have seen this before in the Moyu Aosu V7. It's what allows both cubes basically to feel like, I don't know, it's impossible for them to pop, which I must say is a common problem you get in big cubes. one that I have personally experienced in competition. But get this, 160. That is the number of magnets that the GAN 4x4 boasts that it contains. And if you do a bit of maths, I mean, okay, so there's multiple magnets in every single piece, right? Magnets like, you know, aligning these two and then aligning these, and I don't know, maybe like corners to the cores. But if you do your calculations, hang on, that can't be all of them. And that's because GAN decided for the 4x4 to essentially put magnets at every conceivable junction throughout the entire puzzle. I mean, I wish I had an X-ray machine because they've put magnets in places that they never have before in a 4x4. Now, as mentioned before, it's again 460, and that's because the puzzle is 60 millimeters across, 4 layers, so 15 millimeters each. Wrong. No, they decided to make the outer layers that very slightly thicker, and so outer layers are actually 15.6 millimeters and inner layers are 14.4 millimeters each. I know, small difference, but that's going to add to its overall stability when turning. GAN also says that for each piece, the plastic components have been completely like buckled together, not like just fitted into each other, meaning that they should be really hard to come apart. Finely machined, very small tolerances, which, I mean, is good to prevent breakage if you drop your puzzle or, you know, during comps if a piece falls off, which, you know, could cause a DNF. But the time has come for me to properly turn this cube. I've been so patient and see what it actually feels like. Maddie says that once you reduce it to, you know, 3x3 stage, it essentially feels like you're just hitting a 3x3. And I mean, yeah, he's right. That's actually crazy. Oof. I'm getting a few little catches like that, and that's probably because I'm turning it like way faster than I normally would turn any 4x4. It's a bit deceptive like that. It's sort of like daring me to just like go as fast as I can. All right, let's try the inner layers now. And this is actually crazy. You know, I was saying before about like feeling like this puzzle is impossible to pop. I honestly don't feel like you can just make this puzzle pop at all. Like, I would never turn a 4x4 this rough normally. And the fact that I can do that just says so much. Now, I average about mid-50s on a 4x4, so first off, with no warm-up or anything, let's see what this is like. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. So much skill issue. Oh my gosh, that A permit at the end, it actually literally felt like I was just doing it on a 3x3. Crazy! Spot on, exactly what I always get. And that's completely just like first time ever with this puzzle, like not used to it at all, fresh out of the box. And I'm already getting times I'm really happy with. Let's try one more just to make sure it's not a fluke. Another A-perm to finish it off. That was interesting. So that one had OLL parity. Hey, I'm happy with that time with OLL parity, but I'm not sure if you noticed this. I found OLL parity actually kind of tricky to do on this cube. Okay, so that's my second impression. First impression is that this cube is awesome. It's like light and like fast, and it feels unreal. You can see why they needed so much time in R&D for this cube. It really feels like there's a lot that's happening under the hood. But my second impression is that it's just strangely just doing random lockups. Yeah, do you see that? There's just some little bits over there. And hey, maybe it could be the way that I'm turning it, but this is doing little things that's making me be a little bit like, huh, what is happening? You know? So out of the box, definitely very loose. I mean, yep, easily do U2s. Can I do that with the inner layers? Yep, I can. In fact, even more with the inner layers. That's nearly like, that's a U3. Yeah, okay, even more. I mean, 3 layers. This one has like so much more momentum, which is why you can do that. But if you're the kind of person who uses your cube just like straight out of the box as is, factory settings, without lubing it or tensioning it or anything, you probably will need to adjust your turning style a little bit to get used to the GAN 4x4 because it's that kind of cube. But I definitely can put lube in this to make it a little bit more stable. I mean, those who really want to like fine tune. So give me a second to do that. Today, we're going to be using FC Stealth, a really great lube from the Lubicle. Wait, I mean the Cubicle. Petition for the Cubicle to change their name to the Lubicle. I love the way this applicator just, you know, gets the lube out and applies it onto the cube as well. Allows you to get just put that little bit on without overdoing it. And for the full experience, we're also going to put a little bit of FZ Calm in here, which I think is going to make a really big difference to this. You guys already know I'm a big fan of Calm. And also Rush, its counterpart. Really great lubes that you can find at the Cubicle with discount code TINGMAN, of course. Let's work that into this cube and see what we're dealing with. Oh my gosh. It just feels like I'm turning like a cloud. It's just so smooth. Okay, let's try the OLL parity alg on this guy again. You won't be able to tell because it's scramble. Actually, maybe you will. This bar over here will flip. Here we go. That wasn't too bad. Hey, definitely better with the lube. I'm still getting like, you know, minor catching issues that I think I'm gonna have to like just rethink the way that I turn this cube. But otherwise, that is actually really nice. Okay, so if you look closely with the outer layers, it basically just locks straight to place when you do each turn. Characteristic GAN, like that's what their whole spiel is, stick is. Am I saying this right? They love auto alignment and pieces to just move straight into place, which is what you get in the outer layers. For the inner layers though, I'm often getting things like this where it's just very slightly off. It's really interesting because they've obviously put, you know, those double magnets to try and prevent that will just like align properly. You know, I've been accused of being a GAN fanboy for many years. Not as much recently because I've definitely diversified in terms of the cubes that I main, but I'm not ashamed to say the GAN 460M version 1 was my 4x4 main for the longest time. I endured humiliation for this. People all over the internet paying me out for the fact that I use version 1. And hey, I'm leaving the door open. I'm trying to be as open-minded as I can to, you know, this possibly upseating my current favorite 4x4. And, you know, if this impresses me, it will also be my main. But hopefully, as you can also tell, I want to be honest about the weaknesses about this cube as well. I thought that I might have had a cheeky, like a Jason parody hidden around somewhere, and I didn't. Okay, it certainly feels nicer with the lube, but guess what? Guess what? I've come up with a theory of why I think I might be having some catching issues with it, and that is this puzzle feels a lot looser than what I'm used to, and therefore I'm turning it harder than I need to. Like, I actually just need to teach myself to turn this cube lightly, to almost think, okay, this is just a 3x3. Like, you know, don't push it, don't turn it so hard the way that you would like the big cubes. Interestingly, I remember having that exact same issue with the GAN 5x5. So one really common question is, you know, for you guys who don't have the 4x4 yet, but maybe you've got the 5, does it feel like it? And I'm here to answer the question, and I'm going to tell you, look at that, exact same unboxing experience. Mr. 5x5, it's time to meet your younger brother. It's actually remarkable to think about how similar in size these two cubes are. This is the GAN 562, I believe, so literally only 2 millimeters bigger than the GAN 460. Crazy. Which I mean is fine with me. That's like a nice sweet spot. I don't think I would want this like significantly bigger or smaller. But when I first got the GAN 5x5, it actually felt really awkward to me. I honestly found it like, I don't know, a bit too loose and too fast. And I'm going to say it's because of the same reason. I was used to 5x5 as well. I just needed actually a lot of force to turn the puzzle. And you just don't need to as much of the 5x5. You can actually depend on it to just like, I don't know, turn like a 3x3. If you go really fast with it, like it can deal with it. And it's the same with the 4x4. And so for those of you who are wondering, do these puzzles feel like each other? The answer is yeah, very, very much so. The 4x4, I think they've put a lot more internal magnets in it, and so something about it almost feels springy. I don't know, it's hard to describe. I mean, obviously it does have springs. Like this is an, you know, maglev technology for centers. It's amazing and all that stuff. Well, that's what the brands would like you to think, but it's very much like a 3x3 thing. These centers are just too small. Like we're not going to be able to fit like 2 little magnet rings in there to repel each other. So that ain't gonna happen. Well, not anytime soon. And so we're dealing with the same thing here with the 4x4. I don't think that's what's causing it to feel springy. I actually think it's like literally 160 magnets that are throughout. That's just like causing it to like, I don't know, something about it. So yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to tell you that it actually does feel like the 5x5, but maybe it's just the one that I got. It honestly feels even looser. Something about this guy feels like it's just going to be taking me that little bit longer for me to get used to it. But boy, is it nice when it comes to last layer. I remember that's what Timon said about the 5x5 as well. That when you get to, sorry, not last layer, 3x3 stage. When you get 3x3 stage, it's like so effortless. It actually like feels like you may as well just be solving a 3x3. It's just like so unreasonably fast. I mean, look at that. I'm just like doing an M like U-perm in this. And actually, what is it like with the 4x4? Ooh, see that? Yeah, it's not the same. What does it need? Does it need more braking in? It's just, see, it's not completely was wanting to align in the same way. I mean, that one felt okay. Oh, I don't know, dude. There's something about this puzzle I can't put my finger on. It's giving me both so many reasons to like it, but also to feel that just very slightly hesitant. Of course, a greater number of you will only have, again, 3x3s. And do these compare to each other? I mean, yes and no. Yes, because, I mean, the hallmarks of, again, 3x3 is to me, it's real like springiness and squishiness, while also somehow just like, it's just so forgiving. It stays in place. It is, I mean, mean, this is the 15. It is like light to a fault. Because the auto alignment and, flexibility is such a huge priority for them. I mean, it's possible to make a perfect cube. You're always going to have downsides with any good thing that you want. It's like there's a certain number of XP points and you can only like customize your character using that number of points in a certain way. And I feel like the strengths of the GAN 4x4 in some ways actually end up being its weaknesses as well. For me, what you get with this is incredible flexibility, a real confidence that this thing is, I don't think, ever going to pop on me, especially when like I have to count on it. I know that I can actually just go crazy with this cube. There is obviously a lot that's happening underneath the hood. I've said that so many times, but that really is what's going on with the 4x4. 3x3 stage is unreal with this cube. At what cost? There does seem to be some catching issues that I'm experiencing, especially with those inner layers. I see it when I do things like OLL parity, but I mean, I'm even seeing it with M-moves sometimes, right? Like, I don't know, it's catching maybe a little bit more than I expected to.
A few minutes later.
Okay, I've just added a lot more FC calm to this puzzle, and oh my gosh, I like it so much better now. It's like, we know you're amazing, dude, just calm down. I stopped the camera and did a bunch more solves as well just to break it in even more, and yeah, it's just feeling a lot nicer now. Poor guy, that was all it needed. Just needed a bit more breaking in. Did you see how smooth that U-perm was now? Wow. I mean, it's a combination of two things. I've started to break this cube in, putting the right lube that I need for it, but also I'm starting to get used to it. And that's the thing about every single cube, right? The more you use it, the more you just get used to its little quirks and stuff. And yeah, you get times that you're a little bit more proud of. The thing is, we hold GAN to a very high standard because they've consistently produced pretty amazing cubes. It's obviously both a blessing and a curse because, I mean, I've got such high expectations for this 4x4. And I wonder if that's why I'm finding this cube less than perfect because, I mean, of course it's less than perfect. No cube is perfect. I did a bunch of solves on this. Solve after solve, I'll get like a really good time followed by a really bad time. And to a certain extent, that's just 4x4. It's me just getting to know this cube, but maybe this cube is less predictable than I need it to be. Don't get me wrong, it is a beautiful looking cube. The colors are vibrant. It's really a pleasure to turn. But when I really need it to perform, I myself just don't know if I can completely trust it. I will say though, it is like a breath of fresh air. It's been a little while since we've had a cube that feels this different, especially in the 4x4 space. And so I personally really appreciate that. No, +2. And that takes us to my big question of this video. Is the GAN 460 worth its price tag? The answer to that, of course, is multi-layered. Is this cube the best that 4x4 technology currently has to offer? I mean, I can quite confidently say yes. Definitely on paper, but as I'm slowly discovering in real life as well. And I mean, the question also depends on your familiarity with the 4x4, right? Like, if you've only just gotten into 4x4, sure, you can buy anything you want. But to me, if you're looking for those huge improvements at the start, I don't think this is probably the way to go, like, immediately. And then on the other hand, if you're significantly faster than me, you probably know your very specific preferences. And it's very likely that whatever 4x4 you're currently using, you're already very happy with. But the vast majority of you guys are probably going to be a little bit more like me within that range of, I don't know, 40 seconds to like 1.5 minutes or something like that. And so who should get this puzzle? For me, if you like the GAN 5x5, because not everyone did, but if you do, then yeah, that's an easy recommendation. You're gonna love this guy as well. If you're a big GAN fanboy and you must have like every single GAN puzzle, right? Like oh, this is so cute. Look, it's the whole family. Oh, the family reunion came early. Actually looks crazy. It's the GAN 251, so 51mm. If you already have a 4x4 that you really like, for me personally, I'm a huge fan of the Steven 4x4. I've said that in many videos already. I'm not particularly looking to replace my 4x4, and so I'm going to want to be very impressed to do so. And has this puzzle done that for me just yet? It's getting there. It was a journey for me with the 5x5, and now, I mean, I do main the GAN 5x5, and also the GAN 2x2, by the way. I use a different 3x3 myself. But for the 4x4, I'm willing to give it time. I'm willing also to give it a lot more FC calm. So I'm no Matty Hiroto Inaba. I'm obviously not his speed, but also not his like instant love of this cube where he just decided like, yep, gonna main it right away. I want to allow myself to take my time, maybe even bring it to a competition, see how it fares under pressure. Well, when I'm feeling nervous. But as for you, should you drop that huge amount of money on this puzzle? I mean, that's for you to answer. It is, I believe, the most expensive 4x4 that's out there at the moment. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I think it's actually worth that price, given how much work, levels of prototypes and how much is going on inside it. Like, in some ways it probably needs to cost that much, but whether or not it makes a good puzzle depends on you, your turning style, and maybe in this case, how willing you are to adapt and actually change the way that you solve, tinker around, with a brand new cube to make it suit your style. My final really big question that I have for this cube is how it compares to the other really popular 4x4s out there at the moment. The thing is that I think that deserves an entire video of its own because that's a huge question to answer. I'm going to have to do a ton more test solves, and so I've decided to make that video available for my Patreon supporters. Link here or in the description. Thank you, GAN, for working so hard to develop this cube, taking your time, not cutting any corners. Well, actually, in this case, yes, cutting corners. We like that. I feel like it was just yesterday that I reviewed the GAN 15, but believe it or not, the GAN 16 is already on the horizon, which is crazy. If you want to see that video when it comes out, you are going to want to subscribe to this channel. And in fact, if you want to see me compare GAN cubes with previous generations, here are 2 massive videos that I made doing so. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.